Who's going fishing Sunday?
I am. Let's go.
Let's go.
I am.
I'm in.
What week? Can you put that cat down?
Yeah. The cat's in.
I was trying to be a Bond villain. I apologize.
Yeah.
It's warm by this fire, Buck.
We're not even in the fire. We need to jump in the current.
We got to cool off in the current.
I just want everyone to know, I mean, we say it all the time. You have 7 best friends when you tune into us every week.
And it's wild because we used to say that, but now it's so real.
And it was just a real existential morning, guys.
Got all existential.
Did you short drift them?
Well,
That's a yes.
that's what the Canadians say. No bueno.
No bueno.
If there is a traditional Canadian saying, no bueno.
And we are back. You are listening to the Rutten River Pursuit podcast. We are in the current, boys. Nice. We are Reality Outdoor Radio, where our mission is to get you in the outdoors by connecting you with the people, skills, and products you can trust.
them.
You can trust them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can.
I'm Ryan. Who do I got with me tonight?
This is Dave.
I'm Brian.
I'm Will.
What's going on, boys?
Hey, guys.
Just another week in the outdoors.
You know what I need to know?
What's that?
I need to know something. Stevie, tell me about this month's sponsor.
I'll tell you about this month's sponsor. This month's sponsor is Quest Hunt Co. The guys over at Quest Hunt Co. have developed the biggest and baddest white-tailed deer tournament the hunting community has ever seen. Ooh. This tournament's currently in 7 states, and it's now coming to Pennsylvania.
I love the Pennsylvanias.
For whitetail hunters all across the state, here's how it works. Get yourself a partner. We set this up for 2-person teams.
Got them.
Once you're signed up, you'll be competing with everyone in your state. Your team is scored on the total gross inches of your 2 best combined bucks.
Nice.
The top 10 teams per state will receive prize packages totaling an excess of $50,000.
Me and Deke are splitting a bunch of that.
The tournament culminates with a postseason banquet where all prize-winning deer are officially scored.
Right.
And if that's not enough,
Go on.
amazing discounts from vendors across the board
Nice.
just for signing up and monthly giveaways.
Get out of town.
It's incredible. Sign up for this epic tournament. Get all the details by checking out questhuntco.com. That's questhuntco.com. Tell them Rutten River Pursuit sent you.
Ooh, love me some Quest Hunt Co. If you guys haven't done it, go sign up. Seriously. All right.
What are you waiting for?
Just do it.
Mr. Pikarowski. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good.
Long time no see.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right,
nice
bud.
to be back around the table with you guys.
It's nice to have you here, bud.
Yeah, well, thank you. Appreciate the sentiment.
What have you been up to?
Vacation.
Vacation. Yeah, I did
Vacation.
little campings. I did some campings
Imagine
with
that.
the family. Saw my dad and my mom
That's nice.
and my grandpa.
Okay, what everybody else do.
Oh my God.
That was nice. I did some camping.
Take it easy, Goldilocks.
I saw some family.
This one's just right.
I'm not sleeping in this bed.
It's 2 hards.
So where were
Sorry,
you camping
Brian.
at this time, bud?
What were you been up to?
We were camping local. We were just north of Hershey at
Really?
Lickdale, right off of 81.
Mm-hmm.
Jonestown, little
Yep.
KOA.
Oh, nice.
Did a weekend camping there.
Nice.
Saw the family. It was nice to get together with them, and saw my grandfather and my aunt. Hadn't seen them in a little while. They live just next to Kyle in Boyertown.
Really?
Yeah. So when we were there, they
They met
made
in the middle.
they made the pilgrimage over and
Yeah.
spent the weekend with them.
What's there to do at that campground? I know a lot of campgrounds have activities, on-site amenities, things like that.
Yeah.
Is there bodies of water?
There is the Swatara.
Okay,
that runs
that's right
through.
there.
Yeah. Yep.
Do any fishing while you were
No,
there?
I didn't. Again, this was more of a family trip.
He was catching up.
Yeah, I was catching up. My grandfather's
You can't
92
catch
years
up
old.
standing in front of a fishing pole.
Well, we could, but
I'm sure your 92-year-old grandpa would appreciate that.
yeah.
Maybe you ought to let him soak a couple worms and he talk to you more. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Probably right. Probably right. No, but
But it didn't happen. So
Yeah. No, we just hung out and fellowship
good.
with him a little bit.
there used to be a wild game restaurant there. Is it still around? Do you know that?
I don't know. I don't
All right,
know.
good
Well, it's
story.
not at that campground then.
Yeah. We spent the day. We went to Camping World and got some supplies for the
Oh,
camper.
nice.
And there's a farmer's market. I
That's
believe.
right near Bucky.
Yeah. I have been out doing some scouting for some deer season coming up in Maryland, which is coming shortly.
Yeah, you're just a few hours away almost, aren't you?
Yeah,
And I
look,
see a
look.
lot of pics of Pick shooting his bow.
I've been practicing quite a bit.
She looks dialed in, buddy.
Yeah, I've been practicing quite a bit.
Jealous.
Did some brush hogging over the last weekend, and clearing out some lanes and checking some trail cameras, and have a few nice bucks pattern that's coming out in that bean field.
Do you have names for
So-
those deers?
I don't.
Send them over. We'll give them all
I
names.
don't. It's hard to come up with names
Bucky
for bucks.
is the king of naming
Well,
anything.
Then I'm going to show Bucky these pictures of these bucks, and I'm going to have him name them. But I've been putting a lot of reps in with the bow recently with the hunting season coming in.
I know. I'm getting behind, and you're making it very hard for me to like myself.
Yeah. Well, that's not my intent, Will. That's not my intent. But I've been trying
But that's what's happening.
I've been trying to put in some reps every night, if not every night.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times a week.
Look at me. I got my bow out again.
But
You're wearing out that block target.
I switched sides. Yes, yes. It is a 4-sided block target, and I turned the side around because the one side's getting pretty shot up.
So the new bow is performing
It's
to your expectation, above it. What? What are we looking at?
I tell you,
Sorry.
I've been trying to extend my range.
Really?
Yeah, with the poundage that I'm shooting and the technology of that Matthews Verdicts, I've been getting out to 60 yards. I have 4 pins, and my last pin is set out at 60. So I've been trying to get out there. I'm going to be hunting over a bean field, so there may be some opportunities where deer may hang out there a little bit further, and I want to make sure that I'm confident in those long range shots. So it's been going well. I haven't had any issues with it yet. Just putting in the reps and getting familiar with it. It's going to be all about
Then
the
it's
deer.
on.
It's going to be all about the whitetail. Yes, it is.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
buddy.
what, you inspired me
How's that?
In
the
what
other day.
way?
He was rolling around in the brush hog,
I was.
right? And he's clearing some shooting lanes.
Yeah.
And he sent us a picture
Oh, look at me. I'm
rolling
on a brush
around
hog.
on his tractor. And I thought, I got this field across the road where I'm not really cutting in shooting lanes, but I'm just clearing some trail
Right.
for the deer to use. You know, it's like a big CRP type field. It's
Hunter
just
calls that a
overgrown.
happy trail.
Yeah, it's a nice happy trail that comes right down
Yeah,
to him.
yeah.
And I need to knock those down a little bit. So I was like, you know what? Brian's sharing photos of rolling around on his tractor. I'm going to do the same.
I didn't see a picture
And I
of
took
you.
a pretty sweet photo of myself so that it looked just like your picture.
Yeah.
And I forgot to send it to the group.
I didn't see it.
I forgot to send it.
Better late than never.
Do you know why I forgot to send it? I must have busted up a herd of about 18 deer.
Did
I
you?
don't know. I don't know what it was
Yeah.
because I just seen tails going in every direction, and I couldn't get a real good inventory.
Yeah.
But there was just tails blowing out everywhere.
Well, that's good. There's deer there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bad that I decided to mow at that particular time.
And blow them out.
Yeah, but they're used to it.
Yeah, they'll
it's not.
probably-
It's not uncommon. There's a horse pasture that's not too far on the other side, and the guy will take some local people out horse riding.
Yeah.
and they come back through and blow out the deer every once in a while.
Yeah.
So they're used to being disturbed. It's not. I wouldn't say that we're completely rural. So the deer that we have are used to some activity.
Yeah.
So I'm all right with it. But I
yeah.
forgot to share the picture. I'm a little disappointed in myself.
I hate
That's
you.
all right.
I hate me too, bud.
It's okay, Ryan.
You don't hate me yet as much as you're gonna till later in this
I
podcast.
can't imagine. I would love to see that picture. But, Deke, you got anything cool going on?
What have you been up to?
I did a little fishing this week. It's funny, this weather change around here really kind of affected the fishing.
Really?
Pastor Castor and I were out at Marburg on Monday. Quick,
Look out.
little last minute session.
Is that his last name, or is that just a play on words?
That's just a play on words.
Yeah, I thought so.
That's his Instagram handle.
Pastor Castor. He's a
I love
fishing
it.
pastor.
You like it?
Yeah, but so we were trying to troll. He's never been out to Marburg. The white perch were holding consistently in certain areas, and just weren't there. And we were exploring the lake, seeing some other areas. So it was a nice exploratory fishing trip.
Sure.
For cooler temperatures coming into the fall, where fish will be. We had
Still pretty warm during the.
It is. We were out from 4 o'clock till dark, and but yeah, it was a nice night out on the lake. We only had 4 white perch for the evening, but then the next night, I took my daughter out to a farm pond to do a little more fishing.
Is that right?
Moana.
And the Moana rod was on fire again.
Again.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yep,
Caligula.
exactly.
I did that one just for Buck.
Yeah, just pulling in big sunfish, and I said it before, but I forgot how much fun bobber fishing can be.
It's
Really?
good
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean it's
Except for when
enjoyable.
they swallow the hook. I hate that.
Yeah, then you just cut it off.
You need size 14 treble.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
keep driving that point home.
That's what I hear.
But yeah, so a nice time out. She's enjoying it. She's love being outdoors and everything like that. Found out she does not like horses though.
Really?
A horse came out of the
She's like my dog.
like a horse came down to that pasture that the pond's in, and she's just like no, and just pointing at this large horse walking our way. And it's like the super friendliest horse ever. So
For a 2-year-old, that's a big animal.
exactly, yeah. So, but yeah, good times in the outdoors.
Can't wait till she starts pointing, going, giant dog, giant dog,
Yeah.
giant dog.
But it's funny that there's duck decoys like laying on the bank there, and she's like ducks. So she at least knows
she's getting it.
Yeah, she knows what's going on. But
It's almost duck season.
it is almost duck season. That'll be happening soon.
Goose season for sure, huh?
Yeah,
Wabbit
but,
season.
Wabbit, little small game action coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a little bit of outdoor weekend. But man, archery season's coming close, and but there's still a lot of fishing to happen. So I'm torn. This is the rough part of the year for me.
Yeah.
I never used to have these problems.
Really?
Then you guys introduced me to this bass fishing thing. It's become an issue for me.
Year round. You were year round.
I'm finding myself once again way behind schedule. Now, good news is I put in my order. I got some tree stands coming. I have to move some things around. I got new trail cameras. I'm updating some stuff that hasn't been running right. So I'm going to be on target before long, but usually at this point, I mean, I've had cameras running for months.
Yeah.
I've had stands set. Things are ready to roll.
Really?
So once again, this is the third season in a row.
Because I've never seen you
behind.
that
Playing
prepared.
catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's because since I started hanging out with you guys,
It's all our fault.
taught me about this fishing thing. But I am prepping myself and some other folks, getting them ready for the upcoming season.
To your point, I've been getting a bunch of anxiety, at this time of year because I don't feel prepared. I don't feel prepared for fishing. I don't feel prepared for kayaking. I don't feel prepared for deer. And this is the time to start nailing that stuff down. And I don't feel like we have enough time, and the time of the day. And just last week for me, it was just a case in point.
Yeah.
Is I literally did as much as I possibly could with the time I had. I was on the river 2 times on the kayaks.
Yes.
2 different, very distinctly different trips. And I got on the mountain as well to, for deer. And, but the fun, I got to talk about the kayak and the kayak upgrades. And
Yeah, we need to get into that. So your new canoe, we talked about this last week though. Your new canoe got a new paddle, I believe we called it, right?
Yeah.
2.3 horsepower paddle
Yeah.
The little Honda
that could.
that could, yeah, absolutely. So I finally had a chance to get it on and put it and try it out, and we had a tiny Armada
We did.
on the Susquehanna,
Well, we launched out of the Swatara Creek,
right where it
but
where
made
it
our
comes
way
into
the Susquehanna.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right at the confluence.
Confluence.
Is that the right word?
Go on. Go on.
I
Yeah.
think it's the
I'll
right
allow
word.
it.
Right
Yeah.
where the Swati dumps in. To
So
the
wait, you
Susky.
went to that area running propped
Listen,
propulsion.
don't jump to the end of the story.
I'm just things are adding up.
Yeah. They are now. Yep.
Well, right in where the Swatara kind of dumps in, you got
Confluence.
Right.
you have a pretty significant piece of river that you have deep enough waters.
Right. I spoke of the trip I took the weekend prior with Adventure Jimmy and his son, where we had Hunter out on your mom, and it was like fishing in a lake. Right. It was deep. It was slow. We launched on the west shore at Goldsboro, and it was phenomenal. So then we try to put this plan together for the following weekend, and Will wants to get the new canoe out with the new Honda motors. I'm like, hey, let's make it easy on Will. Mm-hmm. Let's meet up on the east shore, pretty much directly across the river from where I fished the weekend prior.
Yeah.
Little tip.
What's that? Tell us.
That's a whole different river over there.
It's a whole other side.
Almost straight across as you know, looking at a map from Goldsboro to where the Swati dumps in. That's a different river entirely.
How so?
There-
Explain.
There is a mega sandbar.
Huh.
Like it's just inches under the water.
Low tide.
It's low
Low
tide.
It's like low tide.
But it's crazy. Like you could.
That low tide is correct twice a day.
Yeah. Yes, it
It's
is.
crazy. There's a couple different places, but that one, like you'd never see it from the river, from a bridge, or from whatever. But it is because it looks just like river. But there is a massive football field size sandbar. Rock bar.
Rock bar is
Rock
probably a better way to describe it.
That's right next to Wilkes Bar.
It's south of it.
Okay, a little bit south, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun though. Like
To cut to the chase, I guess. I mean, we had an epic time. Right?
Adventure Jimmy from Span the Void,
Adventure Jimmy and Corey Jimson,
Corey Jim's son.
right, were with us, and thank goodness too, because having a Corey along when you don't have a catfish there
Right.
is very handy.
Right.
I could only imagine what's going to go down if we ever get an opportunity to have Corey and catfish
I don't even
on
wanna
the
know
same
what
trip.
that world is like.
I think the fish will just jump into the boat with us.
They'll be scared. Yeah.
But
Corey was awesome, like you said, because he's very mechanical.
yes, he's the engine whisperer,
Jim is like
methodical.
he's probably your biggest cheerleader. He'll never let you be the last one in.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he just stayed with me, and you guys were like, up in like Middletown. You guys were up in High Spire.
Listen, I had
on the way to.
I had an opportunity to make hay,
Yeah,
and I had to take advantage.
I
bud.
get it. Yeah. You did. But like, I had a little issues. Kind of, it's a lot of work, and maybe the river wasn't the best place to explore.
Right. So let's
A brand new motor.
let's offer this up as some public service announcement.
Yeah.
If you
little PSA action.
if you've got a new motor on a new either a new canoe
yeah.
or a new boat or whatever it is, but you have a brand new motor that you need to familiarize yourself with, or maybe you have an older model motor that there's a potential for some issue.
Issue?
My recommendation, my public service announcement is find yourself a lake
Yeah.
where you can run these things. Because
So you don't have like
a
Low tide.
moving water.
a moving
Still
body of
waters.
water with changing depths at astronomical paces at which they change depths.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe isn't the best place to start.
It's not.
Where did I tell you guys to start at?
I don't remember because you bailed.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not going.
I want to go, guys, but I'm not going to.
There was something else on the calendar that I was not aware of. I told you guys to go to Lake Clark though.
Well, I don't remember.
So anywhere with the word lake or pond in it probably would have been a better idea. But here's the thing: we weren't unsafe at any point. We were taking all of these things into consideration. We just knew
felt
that
like
there
I
were probably
survived it,
better
yes.
places. We knew that there were maybe better places to really hone the skills, right?
Right on.
But Will had to learn the new motor. It's not only a new motor, but he's got this handle extension on it with like a coupling joint.
The tiller handle?
That he can...
It's got an articulation.
Yeah, that's it. The articulation, I called it a coupling, but that articulation in the extended handle is really, really cool because he can run this tiller motor from the middle of his new canoe. He can stand up, he can sit down, fight, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But it takes some getting used to.
It's like, there's like, your hand has to be back and like this. It's like learning. I don't know I never learned to fly a helicopter, but in my head, that's what it's like. Because there's so many things going on. Plus the river, plus the rocks, plus the,
The video I saw, it looked like it was running pretty good.
Oh,
it gets
The
up.
river or the canoe?
Both.
That canoe was moving with that
here's
little
the
motor.
thing: when Will finally got the hang of this thing, and we got her figured out, and I had my issues addressed, which we'll talk about in a moment. When he opens it up,
Yeah.
and is rolling, like he's got to use that little bar in the front to hold on.
I
and
saw
his
that.
hockey hair is blowing in the breeze. I mean that new canoe hauls the mail.
Yeah,
It really does.
Yeah, he was pulling away when I saw that video. He was pulling away from the camera or from the phone.
Yeah, it means business. And with the 2.3 on the back, that thing,
It's cool.
That thing rocks.
Yeah,
Nice,
he had
nice.
a grip on the stand-up bar and the other.
I'm glad I put that thing on. I just wasn't sure, and I think I had a notion that it might be beneficial, but Uncle Catfish took it and put it on the River Cooter, and the River Cooter is a 16-foot boat,
Yes.
and he said it was pushing in his boat at like 4 mile an hour or whatever. So I don't know if it's more or less pushing mine, but it gets the front end up, and I gotta like slide the seat forward. And the new canoe is I had to make so many adjustments, and because
Is there any trim adjustments on the Honda?
I honestly don't know.
There may be.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There's still some
So
fine tuning.
then you won't have if you can adjust that, then you won't need to move the seat so far forward.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look at that because this is all kind of new to me. But the that thing it's crazy. I made so many adjustments on the fly, and the new canoe is like, I'm not an insignificant size dude. And
That is a correct statement. You are correct, sir.
Go on.
and I had to like jump off my seat, like turn around, like do like all kinds of like crazy things to get things situated and settled, move the seat forward, and you just can't do that on another kayak. I mean, there's a few out there that will let a guy like me or you or whatever do that, but like the new canoe, I can't. I'm enamored with it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's next level. I'll give
But-
you that.
Cool.
Before we get to your story, I would like to just kind of say, like, before the motors ever got put on, Leanna and I took the
Oh yeah.
paddle boards out,
Yeah.
and I took the new canoe out, And for the first time ever, we took our 3.5 pushing 4-year-old Roddy, who
I thought you were going to say 3.5 pushing 400-pound Roddy. I mean, he's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy, but 300 pounds?
I'm exaggerating, Deke. It's a fishing story.
I was on the same page as you. I was thinking he was saying that.
Yeah, he's like 120, 125. So, and it's funny because you can tell that there's an extra 125 on the boat when you're paddling upstream, and but like you can strip it down. Like I have a bunch of accessories for it, but you can strip it down, and I can put my seat back just a hair, and there's enough room for a big dog.
That's cool.
To just hang out with you on your kayak.
He was just chilling in those pictures.
Yeah.
I'm not sponsored by New Canoe. I have nothing.
Rottweilers.
What I'm hearing though
too
is now you can carry 125 pounds worth of gear,
anything,
on the overnight trip.
125 pounds worth of feathers.
Yeah.
Did you say 125 pounds worth of deer?
Deer, anything.
I'm all in. Now I have so much confidence in this boat. You guys aren't far off. I'm
running that Quest winning buck back up Raystown Lake. It's going to be perfect.
But to be honest, I mean, like I said, like Ruger was awesome. He loved it. And he was watching the geese and the ducks, and my wife was kind of paddling around us in her stand-up paddleboard, and just a really nice little family outing.
That's cool.
Which we've never even attempted before this boat. But back to Ryan. Can we please just like so as good as the weekend I had on the water, and I had my troubles and my
Your
trying to acclimate.
And tribulations.
Yeah, I had to acclimate to this machine. Ryan had a kind of a different story.
No, I had an epic time. I had an absolute epic outing with you.
No question.
I did learn a few things.
Tell us.
I thought from my limited experience wet wading the Susquehanna River, I had a pretty good idea how to read the water, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm also applying like the years I've spent trout fishing, the Yellow Breeches and some of the other small creeks. Like you learn how to read a body of water, right?
Yeah.
You can see that little V if you're upstream. You can shoot
the sandbars,
some of those sandbars, things like that. Mm-hmm. You get a feel for how to read the river.
Sure.
That book is a lie.
Did you read the Cliff Notes version of it?
Apparently. So we launch out of the Swatara Creek. Now, it's called a creek.
Uh-huh.
For a reason. Because it's not as deep as a river.
Uh-huh.
Right.
However, there's a lot of other way bigger boats than me that are launched out of the same spot. So in my mind,
you're good.
I am golden.
Yeah.
I'm guessing at this point maybe that Game Fisher motor on the back of your mom might be a long shaft. I don't have a lot of information on this particular model, but
no, it's just how long the actual shaft is. If it's so many inches, it's a short shaft. If it's so many inches,
but
it's a
they
long
make both
shaft.
models. I'm thinking maybe I got the long shaft.
So you don't know which one.
But I'm saying,
I don't know.
You can't put an eye to it.
Listen,
no,
it's your
I'm
story.
making excuses for myself.
It's your story.
Is what I'm doing. So we launch out of the Swatara Creek, and immediately the engine, the boat motor, fires up. First pull.
Right.
I'm so
that's
excited.
a good start.
I was very excited for that because I've been burned by that motor.
That motor has ruined weekends for Will. It's given him nightmares. The motor has left me sit on numerous occasions.
No string broke.
I've had plenty of issues, and the fact that the weekend prior, I worked out a lot of the kinks and I had the motor running on the river. And here comes this weekend. We're going to get Will out. We're going to have an epic time. I'm sitting in the boat. Boom, first pole. She fires up. She goes into gear nice and smooth. I mean, boom, here it comes, boys.
Yeah.
put her in reverse, pull away from the dock, boom, throw her in forward, start down the creek. Got maybe 150 yards to go till I'm in the Susky, right? Maybe 20, 25 yards away from the Susky. All of a sudden, just, I'm running aground. So I'm like, you know, the motor's acting up, it's jumping, and I made sure I didn't lock it down, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to allow for that because I knew it was
Kick
going
up,
to be a little shallow. So I wanted to allow for that. So, you know, I'm quickly adjusting things. I'm turning the throttle down. I'm grabbing the back of the motor, lifting it up a little bit. Drifting, waiting for Will. Put the motor back down, run a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. Run a little bit of rocks. Just playing the game. Eventually, we all kind of group up as the Susquehanna starts to form out of this confluence area. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm having some trepidation, maybe, about the situation that we're in. Will's working out some of the kinks with his motor. I'm holding my boat motor up out of the water. I'm talking to folks, and Will looks over and he goes, "What happened?" I'm like, "What do you mean, what happened?" He's looking at the back of my motor. I'm like, Nothing happened. What do you mean?" He goes, "What's wrong with your prop?" It turns out by the time I reached the Susquehanna, I had already lost 2 blades of my 3-blade prop.
I hate when that happens.
This it's an older game fisher.
It sure is, bud.
And it's got like
It didn't drink enough milk. Its
some-
bones are brittle.
aluminum alloy prop that, you know, I don't even think it was meant to stay on.
So at this point, everyone's even questioning the ability for this particular motor to push the boat.
With one.
I got 1 blade on a 3-blade prop. They're like, I don't know if it's even going to run. And now the river's starting to take over and starting to push us down a little bit. And I'm like, let's figure her out. I'm in a deeper channel right now. Get the motor started again, put her into gear, and your mom's taking off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny.
She's moving me.
Yeah, he gives
And
a
I'm like,
heck.
you know what?
I'm going to go with it.
I'm good. I'm real good.
I would have said
left-
the same thing.
I left Will back there. Jim had him, kept an eye on him. But
You
I
weren't
got
worried
your
about
mom.
like bearings though, of like the lower unit with only having one.
No.
I had a boat motor that was finally running, and it's pushing me up the river. So no, I wasn't worried about it.
He's
to be
10
perfectly
minutes
honest with you.
away from replacing the whole motor anyway. It's not
Yeah.
even...
I'm pretty sure before we even launched that day, I said something about this thing may end up in the bottom of the river till this trip's over. Like, I'm fed up with this
Yeah.
motor at this point, but it started off so perfectly.
You know it's going to be an interesting day when he has a backpack full of ether.
Came in handy. I didn't need it though.
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
you used it quite a bit.
Fired right. Well, once we were on the water. Once we were on the water, I may or may not have had some trouble. But at this particular moment, two blades down on my prop, she's firing on all cylinders, and I'm moving upstream.
What does Jim have that he's got this like UTV or SUV or Humvee like motor for the river? Like,
He's got a
his was
cage.
bucking like it was.
Yeah, but he has a
Prop guard.
It's prop guard that was welded on with rebar,
Well, I can't even imagine.
and it was welded on
Pretty good, huh?
near perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes this beautiful little cage around his prop. It covers the fin on the bottom, all that stuff. Just if his
He
motor
just
hits,
hammers
it's just
through.
rebar. He's like, which is pretty much the approach I took.
Without the
There's
rebar.
a difference.
Sans rebar.
That rebar, yeah, it serves a purpose. Anyway. I get her going. I know I've only got one blade on my prop, but I'm in the deeper stretch of the river at this point, and I'm giving her hell, and she's going. So I'm happy. I'm like, let's just get upstream. I want to do some fishing. Let's get to fishing.
Worst
right?
case scenario, you're drifting down.
Right.
Whatever.
So making my way upstream, Corey Jimson's up ahead of me. Will and Jim are behind me, so I'm like, I'm in a safe spot. Everything's good to go. Plus, my motor's working great. Let's do this. Just making my way upriver.
The RPM shot.
Let me just tell you, when you officially have one less than one blade on your prop, you know it.
No blade.
I got no blades, and that motor is humming.
Yeah.
Just taking off. So I knew right away what happened. Because I couldn't read the river. At that point, like, I knew prior to that I was in some low spots, but at this point I thought I was in the deep channels. I didn't see any sign that there was anything going on in that river. I'm watching off the sides of the boat. I'm watching out front as best I can.
Are you like up by the airport by that point?
Oh, yeah.
About halfway. Yeah. On the West Shore side. And they're apparently just giant boulders
One
that stick
big rock
4 or 5 inches under the water.
Just can't.
So they're not even pushing the current around them. There's no indication at the surface that there's an issue. And wham! That's all you hear from the motor. Good news, trolling motor was on board with
That
a
only
fully
has
charged
2
battery.
fans on the prop.
Well, and I can handle that better.
Yeah.
Did you make it back?
So what'd you do? Fire it up?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Did you use ether on that?
It got no. That was fine.
No ether required.
The trolling motor got me more toward the center of the river, between a couple of islands into that sandbar area.
Right.
And dropped the anchor, let everybody catch up. I kind of regrouped, and I was like, you know what? Let's just fish. I'm upriver from the takeout point.
Yep.
I want to just enjoy myself. I clearly have no other options with this motor because my prop's got but no blades. So using the trolling motor, angling upstream, got me to the far bank, which is the bank that the takeout is on, got me all the way over, and just kind of drifted and fished back. I caught a pile of fish.
Yeah,
I caught a couple really nice smallmouth, and had a good time. Just didn't have any props.
Yeah. No props.
Mad props.
One less than one mad prop.
That's right. So
Now you're looking for a prop.
no,
Looking for a motor.
you know what I'm doing right now?
What's that?
I'm like, good. The river's telling me it's time for archery season.
There you go.
Hang that fishing stuff up, break the bow back out. I've been making my own arrows down here, or refletching my own arrows down here, making bowstrings for people. You know, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time. Got the new cameras. Tree stands are coming. The whitetail woods is about to come alive.
Absolutely.
I'm ready to get in them.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad everybody was safe.
Yeah.
Even
That
though you
was
had some,
the nice part, yeah.
Even though you had some difficulties with the props.
We did. And nobody was ever in any kind of danger.
That's good.
It's just
There was still like a feeling of survival. Like I survived that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't ideal, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible.
my motor didn't have that same feeling. It did not survive.
I will say another thing. I will say about my kayak is that shortly after that, I arranged the kayak doctor to show up to and perform
that
some
right?
surgeries.
Kayak doctor.
Yeah, Catfish
Yeah.
Customs
Catfish Customs.
I want stickers made up.
from Catfish Customs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm pretty wonderful. I think that'd be great. Can you work on that? The Catfish,
Catfish Customs.
Yeah, I got a logo for you.
Okay.
I've seen it. It's part of his signature.
Yeah.
But anyway, I say this all the time. Like, if you watch Ryan around the new canoe, he is genuinely excited as I am. Just as excited. Catfish, equally excited. Like, he's very invested into this boat because it means so much for me to be able to be safe and get out and not feel like I'm going to tip. And at the same time, you can load it down with whatever. You can add
200 pounds of Rottweiler.
Rottweilers to it. You can add obviously add a boat. You can add a boat motor to it. Like there's so much versatility. Again, it's just it means a lot to this group to have some kayaks like that, with those capabilities. And it doesn't matter. You can have, I guess Hobie makes a boat like that, and Bonafide makes some boats like that are very super stable. But this is probably the most stable boat in our fleet. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I would agree.
As far as kayaks goes, and so he comes over just ecstatic, and he pulls out like a backpack. He's got his Engel cooler full of tools. He's like, you know what? I listened to that podcast where you went camping and used your Engel cooler as a locker. Who knew? Like, his Engel cooler is full of tools. He's like, there's so many more things I can do with this thing. It was wonderful. So he comes full of tools. He's got this.
He bought a second one just to have a place to put bait.
Don't even. You thought it was a bait box, but it's not. It's full of DeWalt's. So he comes over. We added light bars and lighting. We redid the lighting. We added rod holders. Just customized everything so that everything flows and works better. It looks pretty stupid now. Right now we're kind of in the catfish mode, catfishing mode. So we got one, it's got to function really well because they're bigger fish.
Yeah.
And two, you're sitting longer, so it's got to be comfortable.
Comfy's
so
key.
You're balancing all these things, and so between the motor and the rod holders, everything has to be perfect. And there's no better dude on the planet to run that down and make that work. He came over and just.
He's got some experience in that.
I felt bad for like he went after it, and he's like, look away because I'm going to make some holes.
Drill a hole.
But he did, and it looks awesome.
Sweet.
I'm so happy
That's
with it. Like I'm so glad, and I spent the evening with him, and we don't get to hang out like we used to, and it was great to just be with the guy and hang out and in his element. It just meant a lot. So, looking forward to many new adventures with this thing coming out.
Cool.
It's been a pretty much a massive new canoe weekend.
Yeah, I could only imagine if he was available to go with us on that
would have
day.
been wonderful.
He probably had a spare prop in his back pocket.
All of it would have been.
Yeah.
He probably would have taught you how to read the river.
I got one of those.
Yeah. Don't go there.
I don't know that anybody could have read that boulder that did in my last prop fin. I'm just saying. Nobody saw that coming.
But Leanne and I actually made it up on the mountain, which was really cool.
Oh, yeah, you did do some of that, too.
Yeah, we did it was funny. She's like, my Apple Watch said we did a class 3 hike. And I have no clue what that means, but it meant a lot to her. And so thanks, Apple, for classifying our hikes.
Woodsman walks.
Yeah. Everything's really dry. And so I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but this is the driest it's been in a while, at least up on my mountain.
Yeah, all that scouting and stuff that we did last year, the blinds that we put up, the spots we found, that was in one of the wettest summers that ever existed. So
not too far.
Now we're in one of the driest. So you're going to be somewhere in between, probably is the average.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different. We tried to set up on a little bit of water, like some flowing water and things like that, just to you know, something's going to come into it.
Did you move a blind or?
When we were up there,
Yeah.
we set up. I just wanted to check everything. Some of that, some of the stuff needs removed, and I have to take a bunch of new straps and stuff like that up, and kind of get all that stuff taken care of. I'll do that this week.
Nice.
I got a nice extended holiday, so I'll get all that taken care of.
Do you see any acorns?
We did a little bit of inventory. Acorns, dude.
Yeah.
I can't believe the amount of acorns that have dropped.
Yeah.
So the only thing is that they're going to be gone sooner.
Yeah. I've been hearing and seeing some pictures of people saying that they're dropping already.
It's that drier season.
Yeah.
So they'll be good in Maryland. I mean, actually, the first day of season, I'm on an acorn flash.
Well, there you go.
Honestly, I think it'll be good all around. People just have to adjust and account for it. If the acorns are dropping early, it changes some things up.
Just moves.
Because they are
moves your
definitely,
season up.
especially if we're talking white oak instead of red oak, but they're a preferred food source. So if they're hitting now, boy, oh boy, are soybeans going to be nice beginning at PA's archery. But
but
you never heard that here.
If we get a frost,
But we
before
do
that,
get a hard frost, then it really screws things up. And boy, I don't know what to think after that.
I was just
crazy.
Back to the mountain though. I was just showing it's kind of cool. Like Leanna doesn't get out. She doesn't. It's not part of her
repertoire,
her modus operandi. So I really got to show her what we're looking for in a lot of instances, and it's a matter of feet when it comes to where the deer are versus where they're not.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny. I mean, it all looks the same and all, but the deer sign, I'm just saying, we're looking for different things, and I'm there's piles of crap everywhere, this is in trails, but you can get on a trail that there's no crap, which probably indicates maybe an old trail or something, or just something they don't use frequently, or whatever the case is.
Maybe that one's constipated.
That one might be constipated, but we had an opportunity to kind of explore these.
Did it run parallel with the trail that had lots of crap?
I never paid attention to that, but we were kind of walking and talking, and I'm like, look at this, there's we just came out of this area where there was stuff everywhere, and there was acorns everywhere, and you can tell they were holding up eating, and when they're obviously are holding up, they're
something to consider.
Taking a bathroom break.
A mature buck does not tend to use the same trail as the rest of the deer.
Yeah.
But will parallel the trail of the rest of the deer.
Never knew that.
So they will tend to stay to the downwind side, whatever the predominant wind direction is. They'll stay to the downwind side of the main trail, but they'll make their own little trail. So if you find something like that, a trail with very little poop that parallels a trail with a ton of poop, hunt the one with very little poop.
Holla.
And get on the downwind side of that trail.
And get on the downwind side of that trail. And all of a sudden, that big buck, instead of being just 10 yards out of range,
well, he'd be dead
is
downwind.
in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Just saying. Something to think about.
No, I never considered that. But it was just, I thought it was a great opportunity for her to kind of see big woods hunting where there is literally feet or literally yards of difference between where there's not a lot of sign, not a lot of animals, and where there's just ton of sign. And you got to be paying attention to all that, and that comes with time and energy and whatever. But it was nice to put that together for her.
That's cool.
Nice.
But I'm excited for this weekend. I can't tell you, the holiday weekend, Labor Days.
Yeah, we should be able to get some stuff done.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that little holiday weekend, and this podcast will come out after the holiday.
Yes.
So you'll hear way more about this in a little bit. But yeah, it's so close, guys. So close. So
Closer for some
we
of us
got-
than others.
yeah.
Obviously,
Wow.
the whitetail woods is about to light up. We got dove season's coming in first for PA hunters.
And goose.
And Maryland as
Pheasant
well.
season won't be long behind that. Small game stuff kicking in.
Yeah.
Then ice fishing will be here. Oh, it'll be glorious.
You take your ice fishing.
And wait until
clown
February.
season. Stupid idiot.
That Stephen King's It 2 is coming out. We gonna go see that, bud?
No.
I say we go see that the night before you go hunting.
I'll go see it.
I want
I'm
to
just
see you
not
walking
gonna
through the
love it.
woods.
You know how to get to that property, right? We should put like
A
something's in
big
your tree
red
stand.
balloon. That's all we need to do.
You have a Kevlar jacket on.
Oh, we can find mannequins,
Mannequin.
like scarecrows that are dressed like clowns.
We all float down here.
They
Will.
won't make it either, I promise you. You'll spend a lot of money on burnt mannequins.
Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So I think we're about ready to do this thing. Hey, boys, don't forget. This episode was also brought to you in part by Protection First Class Outdoors. PFC lubricants protect and lubricate your firearms, bows, tree stands, and everything else in your outdoor equipment inventory. Your equipment's protected and lubricated during the season, and the deer aren't going to smell you. Come on. You know you need to get some. Head on over and check out everything they've got going on over at pfcoutdoors.com. Ooh, I got to get me some of that, by the way. Don't let me forget that.
What would you
Pick
use
that's
it
your
for?
job. What would I use it for?
Yeah.
I got to clean all these guns, bud.
Yeah.
I need to put a little bit. I got a couple tree stands that have been out in the weather.
Mine are unfortunately, mine are year round. Like I said, straps are getting changed out, and
Well, but you
that's
take a little
perfect.
bit of that lube out there with you.
Yeah.
Everywhere you've got metal on metal, give it a little bit of touch up. It'll definitely
Shooting rails
appreciate
for
it.
show.
Shooting rails, you better believe it. So Brian,
Yeah.
where can folks find us?
They can find us on the World Wide Web at Rut and River Pursuits. Any of your social media properties, such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Rut and River Pursuits. Don't forget to head over to the YouTubes.
Oh yeah.
Find us there at Rut and River Pursuits Podcast. And download this episode and any of our other podcasts at Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts.
Love it.
All right, fellas. Great night.
Good show, boys. We done her justice.
We did.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
I hope you guys learned something.
Yeah.
'Cause we
Don't launch from the Soterra.
Watch your prop.
Parallel
watch
trails.
your props.
All right, boys.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Get outdoors.
Bust a prop.
Guard your props. Hide your wife. Like you'd never see it from the river, from a bridge, or from whatever. But it is because it looks just like river. But there is a massive football field size sandbar, rock bar.
Rock bar is
Rock bar.
probably a better way to describe it.
That's right next to Wilkes Bar.
It's south of it.
Okay, a little bit south, yeah. That canoe was moving with that
Here's the
little motor.
thing: when Will finally got the hang of this thing, and we got her figured out, and I had my issues addressed, which we'll talk about in a moment. When he opens it up,
Yeah.
and is rolling, like he's got to use that little bar in the front to hold on.
Yeah, I
and
saw
his
that.
hockey hair is blowing in the breeze. I mean that new canoe hauls the mail.
Yeah,
It really does.
Yeah, he was putting
So between the motor and the rod holders, everything has to be perfect, and there's no better dude on the planet to run that down and make that work. He came over and just.
He's got some experience in that.
I felt
department.
bad for like he went after it, and he's like, look away because I'm gonna make some holes.
Drill a hole.